Hey guys, it's Tarkhis from TarkhisGaming, and today I'm going to give you an overview of our new friends in Minecraft, the bees. So with patch 1.15 coming out, there were some new blocks introduced, as well as obviously bees. So bees can live in one of two homes, one of two blocks, either a bee nest, which you'll see here, and these are naturally occurring and they generate on trees throughout the world, or they can live within a beehive, which is a player-made block that houses and is used for the exact same purpose as a bee nest, other than the fact that the player creates it. Each of these nests or hives can house up to 3 bees. And then throughout the day, the bees will come out, and as you saw there, they will go find a flower, collect some nectar, and return to their home. Once they're back in their home, they'll stay in there for about 2 minutes. They only come out during the day, and they do not come out in the rain. They'll stay in there for about 2 minutes, and then come back out and do the same trip again, trying to find flowers nearby to pollinate. Once there has been 5 trips made, so remember there's 3 bees in each block. Once 5 trips have been made, you'll see that the block changes. So this is an empty nest. Empty meaning it doesn't have honey or it's not full on honey. There may still be bees in here, whereas this nest is full of honey, as you can see in the block here. And on the hive, there is the same behavior here. Now, if you come upon a bee nest in the wild, you must have silk touch if you want to harvest it. Otherwise, you can only house bees in your own made beehives. If you break a bee nest and you do not use silk touch, what will happen is you'll break it, all the bees will come out, and they will be angry with you. When a bee is angry, his eyes turn red, and he will attack you. Not only will that bee attack you, but anytime a bee is angry at you, which you can make bees angry at you from, as I said, breaking their hive, attacking them, or harvesting from their hive, which we'll talk about in a second, that every bee in that hive will be angry with you. When they're angry with you, they attack you, and bees do also inflict poison. So when a bee attacks you, you will be poisoned. Now, as I said, they will also be angry with you when you harvest them. So these 2 blocks on the left there with the different graphic, they are the ones that are ready to be harvested. Now, when they're ready to be harvested, you can do one of 2 things. If you use shears, you will get honeycomb. And as you can see, these are angry bees. I'm in creative right now, so they're not attacking me, but these are angry bees. Similarly, on this side, if I use a glass bottle, I get a honey bottle out of it. And again, the bees are angry. Now, you can also use a dispenser to harvest it. So if you place glass bottles or shears in a dispenser, they will harvest it on a red zone signal, and that will not make the bees angry at you. Now, for the use of these, honeycomb are simply used. There's only 2 uses for a honeycomb. One is to create these beehives. So a beehive consists of 6 planks, 3 along the top, 3 along the bottom, as well as 3 honeycomb in the middle, and that will create a beehive. The only other use for honeycomb is to create a honeycomb block, which is seen here. And that's simply just creating a block of honeycomb as seen there. They are purely decorative. They have no purpose in this game other than decoration. The other thing that you can harvest is a honey bottle. Now, a honey bottle has a few different uses. First of all, it's food. You get 6 food from it, which is equivalent to 3 of the little symbols. And it also, more importantly, it cures poison. So for that reason, honey can be very useful if you're fighting anything that poisons you, because it both restores health and it will cure poison, and it stacks up to 16. The other use for honey, there's 2 other uses. One is to create sugar. So for every honey bottle, you can create 3 sugar. You'll see that it leaves the glass bottle behind. The other use of honey is if you use 4 of them, you can create a honey block, and again, the bottles will be left behind. Now, a honey block has a few interesting properties. First of all, you walk slowly on it, as you can see here. Also, you can't jump. Well, you can jump, but you just can't jump very high. Whereas if you come down here, there's a normal jump, and here's your honey jump. The other thing that honey can do is, as you're falling, honey will slow your fall. So you can use it in a number of ways to slow your descent and make sure that you don't take fall damage. If you don't do that, landing on honey also drastically reduces your fall damage. So that's an interesting thing to note when building. These honey blocks have a few other few other traits. One is that they are very similar to slime. So when they are pushed by a piston, they will grab the blocks around it just like a slime block will. The only difference is that a honey block will not grab a slime block. So they'll stick to anything around them unless it's a slime block. So finally, just the last few things about the bees themselves. Bees will, obviously, they're attracted to flowers. So if you're holding a flower, bees will follow you. This is an easy way to get them back to your base, get them to nest, anything like that. If you use a flower on them, that is how you breed bees. So using flowers will breed bees, and there you go with a new one. And again, they'll follow you if you have the flower out. Another interesting behavior for bees is that they pollinate. So you'll see that these bees, although they're angry, you'll see that they have some kind of beigeish dots all over their back end. What this is pollen. So anytime a bee comes out and they collect nectar from a flower, when they're on there, they're going to immediately return to their nest or their hive, but on their way back, they will have that pollen on their back end. And you'll also notice that they are dropping small little particles as they fly. Now, these particles have a great effect. If they fly over a crop and these particles land on one of those crops, like carrots, potatoes, wheat, anything that you're growing, those particles will act as bone meal. They'll pollinate the crop, and the crop will advance just as it would for bone meal, and it will advance one stage. So any angry bee that you pull out of a nest will have the pollinated effect on it, and any bee returning to its nest from a flower will also have that pollinated effect that acts as bone meal. So that about sums up bees. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and I'll try my best to answer them as quick as possible. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all those things, and I will see you next time.